Hey guys, welcome to the Real Deal video blog. And this week I want to talk to you about something that might sound simple at first, but it's really not. This is something that's really important when it comes to successful recovery, and that's no matter who you are. And this is reaching out. So when it comes to getting sober, reaching out is pretty much the first step, because when you're deep into addiction, when you can't stop using drugs and alcohol, but you know that something needs to change, you know that you need to get out of it somehow, that's when you reach out. That's the right time. You talk to someone you know, maybe it's a friend that you trust, maybe it's a family member that you know is willing to support you, or someone you know who's been there, who's been through the process of addiction and recovery, and you ask them for help. And sometimes that's all it takes. This help can take a variety of different forms. Sometimes the person might help you get into treatment, or they might take you to your first meeting, or maybe they just sit down and talk with you, because sometimes that's what you really need, to just sit down and talk and be listened to for a while. So reaching out is a really powerful thing, and it can really bridge the gap between sobriety and addiction. It can really make the difference between getting help and not getting the help that you need. But once you're in recovery, reaching out can take on a totally different meaning, because when you're in recovery, you're in a place that not many other people have been in. You've been through addiction. You've experienced that low down feeling, that inability to stop using drugs and alcohol, the life that's out of control. You've had all those consequences happen to you. You know exactly what it's like, and you've successfully overcome it. Not only did you survive it, but you recovered. You built a new life, and you beat this thing. And that means that you have an understanding that most people lack when it comes to addiction and recovery. Most people, no matter how well educated they are, no matter how many degrees they have, no matter how much they've studied, no matter how many people they've talked to, they really can't understand a concept like this unless they've been there, and they just can't relate to people on the same level that you might be able to. And that puts you in a truly unique position to help others. So reach out. What does reaching out really mean in this case, though? And it can really be as simple as going to meetings and sharing your story. You never know when, if you show up somewhere and you're sharing your story of experience, strength, hope, and recovery, that someone's listening who really might need to hear it. Maybe the words that you're saying are exactly what they need to hear, and just by simply sharing your story, that you've made a change in their life. Reaching out can mean when you see someone who needs help, just helping them. There's situations every day where people see someone who might need a helping hand, and we just look the other way. And it's the sad truth of the world, but it doesn't have to be that way. Reaching out might mean becoming a sponsor, working with someone in the context of a 12-step program, taking them through the steps, offering them advice and guidance from the position that you've reached. It might mean working with newcomers in other ways. It might mean volunteering and helping others in whatever way you can. And it means that when people reach out for help, if you choose, you can be there for them. You can be that hand that pulls them up, just like someone at some point was there for you. This whole reaching out business, this is not an easy thing to do. It's not something that happens automatically. You don't just get sober and wake up and become this spiritual, outgoing person who's just on a mission to save all these lives. It's not something that happens by magic. It takes work. You really have to put in the effort to get out of your comfort zone, to get used to reaching out to others, to build this habit of consistently reaching out and being there for other people. And it's tough, and it's not always fun. But even if you manage to help one single person, the effort is well worth it.